Hello, it's Vablonsky again. Today I'm visiting a Cantonese braised and roast meat stall that's located at a food court inside a popular local Chinese supermarket. It's an independent mom and pop stall. It's not part of the grocery store, nor is it a restaurant. And stalls like these are hard to find nowadays, especially where I am. I'll be spotlighting the classic roast meat items. Siu mei in Cantonese, roast duck, roast pig, and roast pork, the bedrock meats of the Cantonese barbecue tradition. So join me on this food adventure. Let's go! Ying Cantonese BBQ really gives off mom and pop vibes. It's a stand, as you can see, inside this Asian Chinese supermarket, Great Wall. And the store here in Fairfax has a food court, and I think the food court is still in the midst of developing and filling out because there's only 2 stalls, one of which is Ying Cantonese BBQ. And Cantonese BBQ really is a foundation of Cantonese cuisine. And in the first box I have what they call white cut chicken and the familiar roast duck. You often see these hanging in the window, storefront window display. If you walk around Chinatown, if you walk around the Chinatown near you. Let me start with the white cut chicken. Basically, this is poached chicken, and you eat it with a ginger scallion sauce. You want it to be a soft, delicate texture, and you want to dip it in the accompanying ginger scallion sauce. But let me grab a piece or poke a piece first without the ginger scallion sauce to begin. Wow. Okay, it's poached very well. It's very tender. And you get the strong chicken essence. Again, another part of the textural experience is the skin on this chicken. And you might not be familiar with eating chicken skin unless it's fried, because the chicken skin is not crispy, it's gelatinous. When you bite into the chicken skin and the meat, there's a chicken essence that kind of permeates your mouth. In fact, I think rather than just dipping it into the condiment cup, I'm going to dump the ginger scallion sauce over the chicken because I'm going to invariably eat it with the sauce anyway. Oh, here it is. The drumstick took the bulk of the sauce. I'm going to spread the sauce around just a little bit, and then I'm going to eat the drumstick. The ginger scallion sauce really helps out. It's slightly oily, the sauce, and it has a strong combination of scallion and ginger. I mean, it really is a very herbaceous kind of flavor, and it really complements that chicken meat. Oh, there's cabbage underneath. Oh, there's cabbage underneath the chicken. It comes with rice and cut up pieces of Napa cabbage. I think the cabbage is boiled or steamed. It's a very plain preparation, but you need it. It goes well with the protein, so you're not just eating all protein. You got a little bit of rice and cabbage. In fact, here's some rice. Oh, wow. And then the rice has a little bit of that ginger scallion sauce on it too. Wow, that's good. But I had, white cut chicken a lot over the years growing up, and so I find it a very comforting, homey thing. Ooh, let me move on to the duck, the roast duck, the famous Cantonese roast duck. Okay, let me poke a piece. Oh, here it is. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, that first piece was mostly skin, and I was reacting to it because that skin was really good. It had a burst of duck flavor, and underneath it, the interior of it is rubbed with that roast duck seasoning. I don't know exactly what's in it, but that interior rub that they use before roasting the duck has a lot of flavor. And if you can kind of gnaw on the interior bony structure in the cavity of that duck, it really has a lot of flavor because that's where a lot of that rub is. Oh, wow. Not a lot of flesh on that piece, but man, the flavor is really pronounced. Okay, those first couple of pieces were mostly bony and just mostly skin. Oh, this piece has a lot of flesh on it. Oh. Wow. Always have to watch out for the bones. Wow. But, wow. That was good. That flesh is tender and very full of flavor. I mean, you taste the flavor of that duck meat, and then there's a burst of fat underneath the skin, and then the rub, as I mentioned, and then the crispiness of the skin. Wow. Okay, at Ying Cantonese BBQ, there is a little bit of confusion. The roast pig with the crispy skin, siu yok in Cantonese, they translate it as roast pork, but that's usually the English term for cha siu, what they call barbecue pork. So don't be confused if you go to Ying Cantonese BBQ. I'm going to have what I call the roast pig. I usually call it roast pig, siu yok. So I'm going to have the roast pig first with the crispy skin. Oh, let me stab a piece. Oh, here it is. Wow. That's good. Wow, let me stab another piece. Wow. I'm just continually stabbing pieces because I want to get more of a skin experience. There isn't a whole lot of skin on those pieces, but yeah. I think after having stabbed 3 pieces and eaten 3 pieces, I have a good assessment of what this is, and it's delicious. Wow, that seasoning rub on again, it's probably in the interior cavity of that pork belly, is really savory and potent. The meat is tender and moist, and the skin is crackling and delicious and snappy. This is first-rate roast pig, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, this is good. And the way they cut it up makes for really convenient and easy eating. Each piece is very manageable in size. The ratio of meat to fat to skin is pretty good. It has the same kind of cabbage and rice underneath. Wow. And you really do need some rice and cabbage because it is just so flavorful and savory. Wow. Some versions I've had can be lacking in flavor. I mean, you're really dependent on that skin for any pleasure whatsoever because it could be a little bit dried out. But this is not the case. The meat here is really, really a quintessential part of this experience. It's not all about that crackling skin. Okay, let me move on. I want to move on now reluctantly because the roast pig is so good. But let me move on to the char siu, what they call barbecue pork at Ying Cantonese BBQ. I call it roast pork. And I think the majority of English renderings does refer to it as roast pork. The char siu, I mean. Oh, it looks really good. Wow. With roast pork, generally what you're worried about is it being dried out or it being kind of flat in flavor. And I've had a lot of, so-called bad versions of char siu roast pork over the years, but this is not the case with this one. It is really has a balance of savoriness and sweetness. And in fact, one of the things that goes wrong with char siu roast pork is that it's just not sweet enough. They don't sweeten it enough. You do need a good sweetness to it. Not not cloyingly sweet, not excessively sweet, but you need a sweetness to balance out the porkiness and the savoriness, and they do that well here. You do taste a balance of savoriness and sweetness. That glaze over the roast pork is really good, and I'm sure that's bringing the sweetness. And it's tender, and it's delicious. Really, it's done very well. Oh, there's one piece, what amounts to the burnt end piece. Let me try this. Oh. Wow. Mmm. 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 Whoa, that piece brought the savoriness and the sweetness, and it was charred, and it was tender and flavorful, and so that was a prized piece. Cantonese barbecue is increasingly hard to find outside of Cantonese restaurants. Sometimes you can go to a Chinese Asian supermarket and their in-house hot foods, prepared food section might serve Cantonese barbecue, but independent mom and pop stands, stalls, vendors like Ying Cantonese BBQ are increasingly rare, especially in the Washington, D.C. area. So that's part of the reason why I like to patronize businesses like theirs. I mean, the food, the barbecue itself is delicious, but I want to keep that tradition alive, that independent entrepreneurship alive, as it were. And I want to thank you for watching today and joining me on this episode. Thank you very much. Please leave a comment. Please give this video a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.